In a world where four guys sit around a table and try to talk about movies and things related to movies, welcome to the Midnight FrightCast. This is your host with the most, Greg, the movie guy, sitting in with the guys from Midnight Fright Films. We're here for another FrightCast episode number
14.
Thank you. I actually forgot. What's up? Again, this is Greg, the movie guy, and we're here to talk some movies. We've got some bittersweet news. Not really bittersweet. It kind of sucks news, but we're gonna capture that in a little bit here. On my left is Josh. Hi, Josh. How you doing?
I'm on the left. I actually had to turn and see which. Yeah, I'm on the left. That's me. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? Glad you could join
I'm
us.
on your left.
Over here on the left.
You think I know which one my left was anyway?
On Josh's left is Patrick.
You could have just said sitting across from you.
Yes, but because Josh couldn't...
And then I wouldn't have to think about it
because Josh doesn't know his right from his left, apparently, I'm going to make it really, really uncomfortable for him. On Josh's far right is Tom.
Hello, everyone. I'm also across from Josh.
Yeah,
we're sitting at a rectangular table, but again, Josh doesn't know his right from his left.
I just figured it out. Thank you, episode 14.
Hooray, episode 14.
Have you noticed, by the way, the table is set up that it's either Josh or I are at the head of the table?
I think it's really weird because we sat this way one time and we've never changed it. It's just been this way.
It's been this way.
So I think it's
I'm bunking tradition next time.
I think it's basically mom, dad, and our two kids.
Well, I think it depends on who's pitching and catching.
Why do I have to be mom?
Because you catch.
Oh, that's true.
This just got weird.
I was a catcher in softball.
It shows.
I was a catcher. I do have a wide stance. Anyway, we should probably start talking about
movies. This is not a softball contest.
You could probably tell from the stretch marks.
Yo, that's disgusting.
This just got weird.
Let's talk about movies. What we've been watching. Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
Who wants Josh is taking over commentator?
I'm sorry, Greg.
Duties.
No, I'm not. But are we going to do roundtable again? Should we do roundtable again, where we just drop one, move on to the next person, and go around?
Sure.
This round robin, not roundtable. Sorry.
I thought we established that we have a rectangular table.
It doesn't. You know what?
Rectangular robin.
You can still sit across from someone on a round table.
Well, sure.
Rectal robin. All right. Here we go.
What are we doing? We're just dropping one show that we're watching?
Well, we'll do one at a time.
Until we kind of wind down.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Greg, you want to start? Who started last time?
I think I did.
Did you start last time?
No, I didn't because I didn't have my list ready.
We should just punish Tom.
Let's throw Tom to the wolves.
Well, it's
Tom,
easy. Game of Thrones. Easy. Loving it.
Game of Thrones?
Yep.
All right.
How deep into Game of Thrones are we right now? 7 seasons?
Tonight will be the 3rd episode of season 7.
Okay. And this is the last season, correct?
I really think there's one more.
Okay.
That's my understanding as well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's not disappointing.
Yeah. I am one episode into 7th season. I have not watched last week's episode, and it'll probably be a few days before I'm able to even see tonight's episode. But I really enjoyed that first episode of season 7. Really good way to kick off the season. So
unfortunately, that's all we can say.
Right? No spoilers.
Well,
we don't want to spoil.
But I don't understand why everybody was getting down on Ed Sheeran or Sheeran or
Sharon.
Because it looked like a publicity stunt, right?
Yeah, but it didn't really take me out of it. So
I didn't even know until afterwards. I was like, "Why is this dude?"
Well, I didn't even know who the guy was until like a week before that episode because my wife said something about him.
That's how I found out.
Did he do a song for Game of Thrones? Did he do a song for it?
Yeah, like this isn't a spoiler. It really
it's
isn't.
Not a spoiler.
It just comes out of nowhere. There's this group of guys hanging out, eating, and he's just singing a song.
Sitting around a campfire, and there's like 3 or 4 guys singing.
That's some publicity.
It's so weird. You're like, what? Why is this? And then someone told me, well, he's,
But it didn't take me out of it because I didn't know who the dude was.
No, and I
thought it was just a bunch of guys sitting around singing at a campfire.
Because, that's what we do.
Yeah, of course.
I was in Scouts.
Yeah, you were.
Guys. Josh.
Oh, is it my turn already?
Yeah.
I didn't know your Game of Thrones was...
We're joined by the hip.
We are.
Hey, the new Thursday, the new trailer for It dropped. Did anybody else see it?
I did see it.
You've got to watch it, Tom. It's legit. It's so fucking good.
That movie.
It's some old footage, but a lot of new footage in there. It's like a 2-3 minute long trailer. It's like long. And they
got to have the paper boat, right?
They show the paper boat stuff still, which was in the original trailer. But they show way more Pennywise in this trailer. So many shots of Pennywise, and he talks. Do you
like him better now? Because didn't one of you not like the look of Pennywise? Was it?
His look was kind of weird. The old time, Greg, I don't think Greg liked the old timey look of him when they originally dropped that picture of him. Okay. But in this trailer, 1 second, Greg. When this trailer,
hands up on radio doesn't work.
When the boat goes down the sewer and Pennywise pops up, not only do you get to see his full face now, he talks. And it's crazy. Good. So there's a lot of like great visuals. There's a lot of really good Easter eggs in the trailer. Did you spot the Easter egg in the room of clowns? Did you see that?
I don't know if I did spot that.
The Emily doll was in there.
Not the fucking Emily doll. In the room of clowns, there's a clown in there. You can see it clear as day. That looks exactly like
the original Pennywise.
It's so good.
Oh, that's great. That's a great.
So there's a lot of good Easter eggs in there. They, I went back and watched not only the trailer but an explanation of the trailer and all the Easter eggs and all the things that you might not pick up when you watch the trailer. And it points out a lot of things from the book, but going back to the original, and some characters that you didn't see in, like when they show the poster of the kid on the light pole in the first trailer, they actually were wondering, is that guy actually going to be in the movie? And then they go back and they show like scenes of him in the movie, and just a lot of good stuff that you got to go back and find that trailer. Tom, it's so good. It's legit. So trailer, I watched it. I shared it like 900 times. I told everyone to watch that. September 8th.
Wow.
Go, Greg.
Okay.
Wow.
I on a recommendation from last podcast from the guy sitting to my left. Hey, you got it right. That's Josh. I watched the movie The Void.
Yeah, up top, Greg.
High five. And now I'm going to slap you.
Oh, yay. Can't wait.
No, didn't like it?
It wasn't bad.
It's like, so weird.
It had a lot of potential, and I actually want to pull up the conversation.
Did you write a review?
No, I did not.
You should.
It's on my list to do. Where am I at? The movie had a lot of potential for greatness, and there was a lot of great scenes in there, a lot of great shots, really, really great atmosphere. Take great away from this, because once you get to the end, somebody kicks the chair out from under you and smashes you in the balls.
In a good way?
No. In the painful stiletto type of way.
Yes, they were in stilettos.
They were in stilettos.
That ruined the whole rest of the experience, or
no? And see, this is why I'm kind of on the fence with this movie, because it was such a good lead-in. Like they were set up to do some amazing stuff with the story, and I'm trying to do this without giving things away.
Yeah, don't give it away because it's in my 30 Days of Horror list.
Is it
okay?
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah,
it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix,
and hopefully it'll still be on there when that rolls around.
I don't know why it wouldn't be. It's set up. It's really good setup, and feel free to jump in if I'm missing stuff.
No, it's what we kind of talked about with Greg a little bit about it when he sent me a message back after he watched it. He's like, "Fuck you." It's like they took this idea of a cult standing outside of this hospital where people are trapped inside and tried to write a story around that, and just here's a really cool idea. I just don't know what to do with it.
Exactly. And here I finally got to the conversation. My initial response to Josh was, after the movie ended, holy fuck, that was intense. Because it's like there's a lot of great buildup and a lot of great atmosphere within this movie. I understand the movie. I understand kind of where they were going with it. But there were pieces about it that were just kind of like, they didn't connect anything really.
It was confusing.
It was confusing. And this won't give anything away. There was kind of built on the cult piece of it. No, maybe I should go into that.
Yeah. If you talk about this, are you talking about the one character? I don't know how to say this without giving it.
Watch the movie and let us know what you think, because it's a good watch. I think until you get to the end, that could just be my perspective, his perspective. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
See, and what I've seen online is either you love it or you don't.
Yep.
I have seen movies though where the ending ruins the whole experience.
Oh yeah.
That they do something absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Or like if it's it was just a dream the whole time, or one of those.
Oh my god!
My god!
That would.
Yeah.
then it's like you owe me like 10 minutes back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Tom?
I'm painfully trying to get through it because I loved the original. I'm still watching Twin Peaks. It has been such a disappointment. There's been some great stuff, great actors, but the story is just so weird. And your favorite character, if you haven't seen it, I don't care. I'm spoiling this part because you'll know it anyway from all the reviews. He hasn't even shown up yet.
Yep.
Dale Cooper. Tonight is episode 12 out of the 16, and he hasn't even shown up yet because he's this other character right now. Have you been watching it?
I've like you, I've been forcing myself to watch it.
Because I'm like, it's going to be great. This is the one. It's going to be great tonight. And it's
Yep.
going to put it all together. And,
Yep.
Not yet.
that's all I get to say.
It was actually tough for me to get through the first episode, and I don't know why. But that first episode was extremely dry, and the whole backwards
Yeah, I will say.
talking thing that he did a lot of it in that episode.
Yeah, he hasn't done it since. The really one thing you can get out of it is the man knows how to film interesting things.
Oh, yeah.
Like just technically, the shots he does, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just the story. It's like he sits down. It's like, how weird can I possibly be? And how vague can I possibly be?
That's kind of like a trend now. It's like people are just going for the absolute weirdest shit that they can come up with. And like there's no normal. Like weird is a new normal for like horror stuff now. I feel like I don't Twin Peaks has always been like that, written that way though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
But
that's
it,
not
It
like,
usually has a storyline though. Like
Yeah.
this one, I can't. What I think is going to happen is all these different stories, and somehow they're all going to come together. And I'll probably go, my God, that was the greatest thing ever.
yeah.
But I don't know.
Next podcast, greatest thing ever.
I haven't watched a lot of movies since the last podcast, and I'm almost afraid to admit this, but I've been watching Glee lately.
This does
I
not
don't
come as a
judge.
surprise.
I know, but guys, that's where I came across the link for that short with Heather Morris, the fake exorcism that became an exorcism,
which was
the
great.
short
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we really
Okay.
liked.
Yeah.
Now, the showrunner of Glee,
He does American Horror Story.
yes,
Yeah.
I just found
Yeah,
that out
Ryan.
today.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not-
Ryan Murphy created all those.
Yeah.
I didn't know he created Glee, though.
Yeah.
I just found that out today.
Glee, Scream Queens,
Yeah.
all sorts
Tuck.
of
His new trailer for American Horror Story
Stories,
Cult is like crazy.
I haven't even seen Roanoke. I haven't even watched
I haven't
one
seen
episode.
Roanoke either.
Roanoke was okay.
Okay.
I'm waiting for them to drop it on Netflix.
I just think Coven was the worst.
They're taking their fucking time.
But yeah, I'm admitting it. My wife absolutely hates the show because it is so incredibly unrealistic, especially since she's a music teacher. That you can't just bust into song. Everybody knows their parts, and you have 50 instrumentalists.
Sure you can, Patrick. Sure you can.
It's campy and cheesy, but there's something really attractive about it. I go back to the first season a lot. The first season of Glee was awesome.
That's what everybody says. I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
And it goes downhill very quickly.
I stopped before, and now I can't think of his name. Died of heroin overdose.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who played
Corey
Finn,
Monteith.
Corey Monteith.
yeah. Did you see the episode where they
No,
oh my
no.
God.
See, I stopped before that, so I never got to see how they handle that. And that's my reason I want
died
to see that.
mid-season?
They handle it.
No.
The actor, I mean?
No, he
no.
died. He died in between seasons,
Okay.
but they handle it somehow during the following season.
Oh, okay.
And
It's heart-wrenching. Like
and that's what I want to go back and see. But there's part of me that said, well, you need to go make sure you saw everything leading up to that. So much to my wife's chagrin, I'm watching that like 3 episodes a night.
now
or
I'm
something
really
like that.
curious.
I went back to watch because I was looking for TV shows to watch at work. And I went back to watch Glee because I watch TV at work.
Yeah.
I watch movies at work.
And we publish this.
Yeah.
We do now because
broadcast.
I'm in a different job.
Okay.
Yeah,
I made the giant grand announcement like 2 podcasts ago.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But when I went back to watch that, I had forgotten how like heart-wrenching that episode was. And I'm sitting here like waterfalling tears in the middle of my job, trying to be discreet and make sure that my boss doesn't walk up behind me and like, what the hell's going on?
Well, and
And
believe
it
it or
doesn't
not,
do a
it's-
disservice to the way the guy actually died, right? Like it's not a judgmental type.
no, like
No.
they don't mention at all how he dies in there.
Oh, okay.
They honor him as
okay.
as a character, as an actor, but in his character.
and it's actually kind of tough watching some of the episodes leading up to it, knowing You know, like at the end of last season when he let Rachel go, he entered the army, all this other stuff. And
Like, I wonder what would have happened to that show had he not died, because I fucking hate the ending of that show. Like, the last season is garbage. Like, that was the one redeeming episode of that season. But I absolutely hated it. And I won't. Do you know how it ends?
Nope.
Okay, I'm not going to say
like I
anything.
said, I stopped watching.
I want to make sure I'm not
the season before he died.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I don't want to spoil anything,
Yeah.
but I fucking hated it. Absolutely goddamn hated it.
So anyway, I'm actually going
Sorry.
to post a link to that short film because that's why I wanted to mention Glee, because I do want to point out that short film. It was really good short film.
What was that called? Do you remember what it was called?
No, I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, it was really great. Good share. Another trailer drop. Stranger Things 2, Season 2. Anybody seen that trailer yet?
Haven't seen it yet.
Go back and watch some trailers, guys.
I haven't seen Stranger Things.
Oh, you haven't
Yes,
seen
you
Stranger
have?
Things? Oh, I was going to say, that's
okay. It's
not
like we
the
talked about
thing,
that.
right?
Yeah.
The trailer for Stranger Things 2 is, again, that was, when Stranger Things came out, I binge watched the shit out of that show. I have a feeling when Stranger Things 2 drops, Season 2 drops, it's going to be the same
Is what's her name still in it?
thing.
Winona
Winona
Ryder.
Ryder is still in that.
Who I used to
believe, yes.
like.
I used to think she was adorable.
I still
and then
like
she
her.
tried to act.
I loved her in Heathers. I loved her in Heathers.
Go.
No, Heathers was great.
Heathers is a great movie.
Beetlejuice was awesome.
Yep, that's a great movie.
But then she did things like, she was even really good in Reality Bites.
Yep. And she started stealing from whatever clothes from.
Oh, yeah.
You guys knew that, right?
Yeah.
But then she did like Dracula. And
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, but I love that movie.
She was good in
She's not.
Edward Scissorhands, I thought.
Yeah, Tim Burton. She was good for her the speech when they won the Golden Globe or whatever it was.
oh, my God.
I thought she
this
played a
kinda got
drunk
weird.
really well.
That's all right.
Oh, my God. That was.
That's
You
a
guys saw
riff.
that, right?
Yeah.
I was just telling him I thought she played a drunk really well.
So Stranger Things, Season 2, the
Okay,
trailer.
looks great.
Peep it. It's great.
Oh,
Just
I'm
watch
sorry.
really
I'm
good.
sorry. Were you saying something?
No, nothing at all.
I was telling him, I was like, boy, this conversation got away from you.
No, I like to watch the riff go, and the thievery and all of her, IMDb credits and shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it all.
I as long as that sheriff's back, I like him.
It's a returning
really good.
cast, and they go deeper into the
Whatever the
yeah. And I believe, if I remember right, it's Michael Jackson's Thriller that plays throughout that trailer. So
Really?
Wow.
yeah, it's a nice little
Nod.
yeah, it's a fun trailer. So
Cool.
go watch it.
Cool.
That's my next thing. Greg.
I just recently posted my most recent blog post. I went and saw last Saturday Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, please tell me it's great. I want it to be great.
It was good.
I want it to be great.
I enjoyed it. I felt it was a little lacking. However, Tom Holland plays the best adaptation, rendition, whatever you want to call it, of Peter Parker
Good.
as a high school student that I've ever seen.
Even better than the original
Oh
Tobey
my
Maguire
god!
or
Yes.
whatever.
Oh my god! Yeah, like if they could have transplanted Tom Holland into the original Spider-Man, it would have been 10 times better than it was.
Well, what about Michael Keaton?
Awesome! I love Michael Keaton. He's
in it.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a phenomenal job. I wish they would have.
Is he a villain?
Yeah.
He played Old Man Spider-Man. I'm kidding.
He comes back and kills people.
He was his own.
He comes back as Batman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I'm Batman.
Carrying.
I wish they would have done a little bit more organic things with his character because he was pretty mechanized, which I wasn't crazy about. But what he does with the character was good. It's a higher ranking Marvel type movie. Like I wouldn't rank it against Guardians of the Galaxy or the original Iron Man or any of the like amazing ones. But I thought it was good. You have to see it.
Was it as good as Fantastic Four?
Which one?
Oh my God.
Wait. Yes.
I don't even know if you guys are joking.
Oh, those were horrible.
Oh, they're horrible.
They were bad.
I know.
They were bad.
Both of them were horrible.
I watched the first one. I wasn't able to watch the second one.
Yeah.
We're probably running out of time, but for some reason, I got on this kick with my PlayStation View. You'd think I'm getting
You think
money
you're
from them, but
endorsed?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Where you can DVR shows, and if you do, it doesn't matter what channel they're on. So now I've got like almost the entire canon of MASH, which I used to love. So I
Used to?
Well, I mean, I still do, but I
Okay.
haven't watched it in ages. And you can kick those out. They're only 20 minutes without commercials.
Oh, yeah.
And I've just been binge watching the hell out of those.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of me, just to kind of side note on that, there's a little bit of me that misses those half-hour type shows because when you're chilling on the couch at the end of the night and it's like 9:30, it's so tough to get into an hour-long TV show because you have to invest so much time. And then if you fall asleep, you got to go back and you got to watch it again. And it's nice to be able to knock out 20-minute show, 20-minute show, 20-minute show.
Yeah.
And then you can go to bed. And if you fall asleep, it's not that big of a deal.
And what's great about MASH, I will say, is and what has changed over the years is that anymore you think a half-hour show has to be a comedy. And MASH wasn't always a comedy.
No.
I mean, it had comedic elements in it, but I mean, they hit some really tough
Very dramatic
things, and
stuff.
we're still able to hit it within that half-hour, 22-minute
And
time
I
range.
didn't realize this, but every story has 2 stories in it. And I didn't realize that, but there's always the main story and there's always a side story. And so to get all that in 20 minutes is pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Yesterday I watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. About 20 minutes too long for
Everybody
me.
loves that actor. I just haven't.
No, I think he did a really good job. The only thing I didn't like him in was Les Mis. I thought he was miscast in Les Mis. But in this, I thought he did a fine job. But like I said, the movie itself was about 20 minutes too long or so. Could have spent less time down his briefcase and looking at all the Fantastic Beast because I just wasn't overly impressed with that part of it. But just really liked the last part of it and some of the characters in it. And I think it fits well within the Wizarding world.
Sure.
I watched an indie film called Don't Knock Twice. Don't watch it twice. It was a good one-time watch. It was pretty predictable, and there's nothing really new in it. So, Don't Knock Twice. That's it.
Okay. I am catching myself up on the Planet of the Apes series. I did not go out and watch the first 2 when they came out in theaters. I'm kicking myself for it now because the first one, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Is that correct? Not Dawn?
Yeah, Rise is first.
Rise is first?
Yeah.
Okay. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was freaking phenomenal. Great cast with James Franco and John Lithgow. And I'm trying to think of I can't remember who the guy who runs the clinic or the big research facility, whatever his name is, does a great job. And then Andy Serkis, good God, he's incredible,
and
incredible talent.
Have you
we
seen
talked
the
about-
behind the scenes of that at all? Like DVD extras? Yeah.
And we talked about that. Was it last week or the last
last week.
podcast
Yeah, last
where we
podcast,
said it is insane that this man cannot get nominated for an Oscar
Yeah, it's crazy.
for the animated work that he
Yeah,
does.
so they take that out.
I'm going to start a campaign right here, right now. Andy Serkis gets an Oscar.
There we go.
Yeah, they will
He
not.
needs it.
They will not nominate him for his work for Kong, for Caesar, for Gollum.
Is he ever going to get, he gets some roles besides those, though?
Yeah,
right?
King Kong. He was a double role in King Kong.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was.
He has a small part in The Lord of the Rings where they show how Gollum becomes
Well,
Gollum.
when he actually plays Smeagol.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's acted.
Yeah.
He's acted as not a CGI roles in plenty of things.
There's a really good movie with him and Simon Pegg.
Oh, that would be a
good
good
movie.
I wish I could
It's a
remember the name of
horror
it. I'm going to
film.
look
It's
it
a
up.
horror film.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
No, I thought it was in comedy, but we'll look.
Look that
I'll
up.
Look it up.
He was one of the villains in Avengers: Age of Ultron. He played the guy from South Africa. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he had the beard.
I still haven't seen that.
That's not going to help you then. So yeah, he plays
I'm behind on
legit
that.
in that. But I think they either need to create a category for him. That seems kind of cheap for that particular instance of being able to transform yourself into an ape or into whatever Gollum is or anything else that he's done. Mm-hmm. That takes so much more than just looking at the camera like Brad Pitt and like, oh, I'm this and that and the other thing. Oh, I'm so amazing. Here's an Oscar.
The movie with Simon Pegg, it's called Burke and Hare, a black comedy about 19th century grave robbers.
For some reason I thought that was.
What's not funny about grave robbing?
Hey, you know.
So that was all that I had.
We're probably running out of.
Yeah, we got to wind it up. This is our last one going around.
Okay. I started to watch Batman the Lego Movie, and yes, of course, it's really funny and he's really great. I didn't finish it because I think something you had said before. The joke did start to wear thin on me. Yep. And so after about 30 minutes or so, I was like, well, I'll get back to it. It's great. but for some reason I just didn't finish it.
Yeah, for me it was like the first 2/3 were really good, and then it just kind of drug on from that point.
He's hilarious.
Oh my god, yeah.
Will Arnett.
Yes. Oh, and that was a pretty good impersonation
what was
of
the
it.
movie?
Lego Batman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I bought it, so I need to finish it.
No. My last one is because of this last week was Shark Week, and I rewatched Jaws. And Lord, if you have not seen Jaws, you need to see that movie.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are, when you were born, anything like that. That movie is absolutely fantastic. One of Spielberg's best. That because of the fact the shark did not mechanically work,
forced him to be
extremely creative on how to make this movie incredibly suspenseful, and it's just an amazing movie.
And I could watch that Indianapolis speech like over and over.
Yeah,
that Indianapolis speech is great. You dropped that part. That's why I brought that up. You dropped that part in our messages.
Oh, I did two of them. I did the boat one.
Yeah.
This was not a boat accident.
Yeah.
And then he had to show me the way to go home.
Yeah. So, but that was in the same. He did that in the same scene, right? He did that song, but he had just done the Indianapolis speech, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop two really quick because they're shorts, and I'm not gonna talk about one. I watched Nate Callooms, who is from. He's in Omaha with Splitsville Productions. He did a short called "If the Shoe Fits." He let me watch that. It was legit, pretty good.
He played that at Prairie Lights last year, didn't he?
No, this is brand new. I think it's going to be playing this year, actually.
How long is it?
It's like 18 minutes. It's a real quick, easy watch. But they do some good. They did One More Time for the Camera. They did Colorophobia a couple years ago.
I remember that.
But he's with Mark Popejoy and all those guys in Omaha. If the Shoe Fits, T-Bird, Haynes, Nate Callooms in it. Mark's in it. Those guys do some pretty good stuff. So check out Splitsville. And then I want to talk about this really quick because I want to know if anybody watched it. Did anybody watch the short I dropped in our messengers the other day called When Susurrus Stirs?
Is that the one that you said that if you had eaten or prepared
your stomach? Did anybody watch it?
I did not watch it. It's on my list.
Oh my god, you guys gotta fucking watch it. It's fucking disgusting. It was shared on I know that's not a great.
You're not selling it very well.
But it was shared on Shockwave's horror podcast. They shared a link to it, and so I clicked on it knowing nothing about it, and it's just this guy that gets this like tapeworm in his stomach.
Oh no!
And he just starts to like. That's all I can't
so
say
don't
too
eat,
much.
Don't watch it on a full
fucking
stomach.
eat before you watch it. Don't. I showed it. I tricked my wife into watching it after I sent it out
you're
to
an
you
ass.
guys. No,
you are an ass.
I was like, she had just got home from work. And I was like, hey, come watch this. She's like, what is it? And I was like, just watch it. And it got to. I like to give her shit to watch, and then I don't watch the film. I watch her because her facial, she was gonna throw up. I was just waiting for it. It's just like there's a certain part at the end where the invaders needs to evacuate the body, and it it was just you guys gotta watch it. I want to talk about it with you so bad.
So the next thing you're gonna force you to watch is what? Two Girls in a Cup?
Yeah, that might be next. But she was like, at the end of it, I was like, "What do you think?" She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with people?" That was her reaction to it. So, and then she just walked away, and I'm not sure if she was mad or not, but she's just like, "What is wrong with people? Why do they do this?" And I was like, "So watch it. It's just, it is rough."
Is it as gross as what was that movie that Nathan, who was in Serenity, and you've seen it. I know you've seen it. I can't remember the actor's name.
All right.
It's the beautiful thing about indie films is like people can do whatever the fuck they want to. So
it's a blessing and a curse.
They're under no restrictions. There's no MPAA. There's nobody saying you can't do this or I'm not going to give you the money. It's So,
all right, so we're at 30 minutes, so we should probably move on to the next section. But before we do, I said I was going to pimp out that short with Heather Morris. The name is called The Cleansing Hour.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance to see that, check it out. Pretty darn good.
Where can you find it, Patrick? Just on
What's
YouTube? Vimeo?
I believe it was on YouTube.
Okay.
The tube of you.
Yeah. So, who wants to lead us into the next section?
I think we kind of waited for Tom to do this.
Yeah,
podcast.
because the news it's 2 weeks old now.
Yeah.
Because it happened 2 weeks ago Saturday, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago
No, it was
yesterday.
last week. I'm pretty sure. Like later last week.
It was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because we
decided it was the day that we found out the day that we were podcasting.
So that was last Sunday.
no.
We didn't podcast last Sunday. It was 2
Oh,
weeks
I was.
ago.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Never mind.
we decided to skip it and wait because I wanted Tom to be a part of
Right.
this conversation.
Right.
So maybe Tom should lead us in on it. Should we throw Tom?
You're gonna have to start the lead in because
Okay.
All right.
I don't have.
Okay,
Yeah, go
so
ahead, Patrick.
so 2 weeks ago yesterday, the godfather or grandfather, depending on how you want to look at it, of
Yeah.
the zombie genre
Yeah.
passed away. George Romero died at age 77. And like Josh just said, we found out Sunday, the day that we normally podcast, and we knew that we wanted to devote a podcast to George Romero and one of his movies. But then we decided, well, if that's the case, let's just wait a couple weeks.
Yeah.
To do that because we wanted Tom here to do it. We also wanted to give ourselves a little bit of time to think about it and also to have a chance to see one of his movies. And actually, we didn't see one of his movies. We saw a movie inspired by.
I went back and watched the original.
I did watch both of them as well.
I wasn't able to watch the original. I didn't get to it.
But so we'll discuss George Romero. We'll discuss the remake of Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah.
the 2004 version. So let's talk Romero.
Yeah. So first of all, Romero. Going back, I went back a few podcasts ago. We did a thing where we went and did our Mount Rushmore of horror filmmakers. Romero was on everybody's Mount Rushmore.
list.
He ended up on our 4 for the Rushmore, and that's for a reason because he created his own subgenre in horror, starting with Night of the Living Dead and kind of blowing up from there. The thing about Romero too was when he did Night of the Living Dead, he didn't call his creatures zombies; he called them creatures, and then somebody else I think came up with the zombie term. That wasn't him.
Well, zombies was a term from all the voodoo stuff.
Yeah, that was Zombie.
Yeah.
There was a movie called Zombie but I don't think this was even really inspired by that.
Right.
And so he thought he created a whole new just creature. He didn't call them zombies. And one of the things that he was notorious for was building in a political kind of agenda into all of his at least the Dead films that he did. There was a political agenda around all those. Does anybody have a favorite?
What year was?
Is 1968? I want to say
Was Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living
was
Dead
68.
1968.
So what was his political stuff? Was it like
So for
against
1968,
Vietnam or trying to think what was?
in Night of the Living Dead was race and violence for Night of the Living Dead. He cast an African American as the lead, which nobody was doing. So that was his political kind of agenda for Night. When he did, I took some notes, but when he did The Crazies, it was working class innocence was his political agenda for that. And then when he did Dawn of the Dead, which is what we went back and watched, it was when everybody was going back to the mall, going back to something that is just something that they remember, something that just is kind of known to them. It was capitalism was his thing that he built into Dawn of the Dead. So does anybody have a favorite that they
Of the Dead series, Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead?
Because it was the most influential for me because I saw it. I was pretty young when I saw it, probably 10, maybe a little bit younger than that, and it was on TV. And it just, seeing these things, when they were pulling the innards out and eating them and stuff like that. I mean, it just had a really big influence on me that I don't feel that any of his other Dead movies had that same effect.
Did you feel like his Dead movies got better or kind of worse as he went along?
I was probably going to save this for later.
Okay,
but it's just easy for me to say this that none of his other Dead movies impressed me.
Okay.
and I don't know if it was because he was going for those political statements more than making a horror film.
Yeah.
Because I felt Night of the Living Dead was a horror film.
Yeah.
And the rest of them were more, like you had said, a political statement moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's why he had such issues with the remake of Dawn of the Dead, because he felt there was no political emphasis behind it.
Yeah.
And other zombie movies that are, from that point on that were made, that he always had issues with other zombies. And he also said that he felt like people were playing in his playground.
Yeah.
That he created this and other people didn't really have any reason to be there.
Yeah. He and Night of the Living Dead is the simplest, yet it was the most difficult, I think, of his Dead films that he made. He didn't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have any he didn't use known actors for Night. But it was simple in the fact of one location basically, and just it was simple. It was, you watch it and it's not as big and grandiose as like Dawn.
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, Night of the Living Dead is probably his biggest or his best that he did. Now
I haven't seen all of them. How many did he make?
He did
Was there
Night,
4 of them?
he did Day, he did Dawn, he did Survival of the Dead, Land of the Dead.
Oh, jeez.
Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead. And then he started a new one.
And his new one, which will be finished by his partner that he writes with, that he promised to finish out. Road of the Dead, I believe it's called, which will be interesting.
It is amazing though that he created this new monster that has just blown up since then.
It's the zombie craze is
Hot.
crazy. Yeah.
And it really hasn't slowed down.
Not at all. Not at all. Throw a rock, you'll hit a zombie movie.
Yeah.
For real.
True.
But I mean, look at all. I actually took out a stack of films this week that I was like, I'm gonna watch these because not only I'm gonna watch Romero stuff, but I'm gonna watch the stuff that would not exist if Romero would not have done this. And like I had like Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse on there.
God,
I had Zombieland on there, which is like one of the best opening like credit sequences I think ever. But then what else did I have out that I was gonna watch? I had a stack. It was just like 28 Days Later was out. Those films. But that was, I think, a big thing for him too. Was when 28 Days Later kicked out, all of a sudden the creature that he created that were walkers are now
Runners.
fucking moving fast.
Right, but
lightning.
like in the movie we just watched, Dawn of the Dead,
They're lightning fast.
Yeah.
lightning fast. That guy takes off after his wife in the opening
Yeah.
sequence.
He's almost faster than the car.
Great opening sequence.
That's
Yeah.
11
so
minutes.
good.
I clocked it 11 minutes before that.
Before the opening credits.
And it's brilliant.
Yeah. And that's how you gotta, for me, like going into like a filmmaker's stance, how you gotta come out now when you make a feature film. Like your first
You got to grab him by the balls.
sequence
and
before you
yep.
hit your credits is just gotta pop now before anything happens. You want to talk about Dawn versus Dawn?
Sure. The only other thing I was going to add before we hit the movie was he actually did enjoy Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, did he?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was reading
Who doesn't like that movie?
well, the fact that he didn't like
Because he doesn't like any. Right.
right.
I get it.
But he did like Shaun of the Dead because he felt they were doing something with it other than just a zombie movie.
Yeah.
And he said that yes, it was a comedy, but it still had some really good biting moments into it. When he has to kill his own mom and deal with his best friend and all this other stuff, and
Shaun of the Dead is a great.
It is
it's
a great.
It's a great movie,
Anything
yeah.
Simon Pegg does is just
Yeah.
great. That's all I got to say. Do we want to talk about the remake or
Do you want to add anything, Tom, before we go into the Dawn
to
versus
that?
Dawn?
No, I mean, I remember seeing the first one when I was a kid too, and I know I've rewatched it, but it's been years. And what I'm curious about, if I do rewatch it, how does it hold up technically with now all the stuff we got? What do you guys?
I could still
Obviously,
with
it's still
which one? With Dawn?
or just want to talk about Dawn, yeah. Like with Night, his original Night. How does that fit with?
I don't think you can compare it. I think you got to.
But does it matter? Like, is it still? as I remember, it was still tension filled. And do you guys know what I'm saying? So, like, does it matter that he didn't have those resources available to him?
I think that's why he made such a good film, because he didn't have
the
those resources. I saw his version of Night of the Living Dead when they used to do movies on the green at the Lead Center.
Yeah.
They played that.
They did?
One year. And I saw that. The first time I saw Night of the Living Dead was actually the 91 version that Tom Savini directed. That was my first introduction to Night of the Living Dead. I didn't see Romero's until after that. So I didn't even know Romero's existed. I saw that when I was a kid, so I didn't know. So I saw Tom Savini's first. And if you compare them, it's like it's shot for shot, but Savini's is in color and Romero's is in black and white, and that's the only difference, really.
Now, my daughter and I, we will watch Night of the Living Dead just so we can watch him just close fist smack that woman.
That was the thing when I was at that screening for movies on the green. He hits her, and somebody just yelled up from the back. It's like, "Yeah, smack that bitch!" and the whole crowd is crazy.
Now, I'm not saying that my daughter and I condone violence, but that just comes out of nowhere.
Well, she's screaming.
She's screaming, and then he just punches her, knocks her out. And it's just, it came out of nowhere. And once again, him bending the rules.
Yeah.
You know, not only is the lead character African American, but here he is smacking this woman.
Yep.
Really, really hard.
Yeah.
And he just,
he pulled no punches, and he played by his own rules.
He did.
And that was, what made him a great filmmaker. He didn't chase money either. That was the thing, too. It was like when he was making his films, he made it as low budget as possible, and he was not chasing big Hollywood money. I think Land of the Dead might have been his most expensive one he did, and he had stars in that, too.
Well, I know he didn't spend a lot of money on Dawn of the Dead, his version.
Yeah.
Yeah. After watching that, and we'll touch on that as we talk about the movie.
Well, we can go in. I mean, Dawn
2004. Let's talk about it here real quick.
Yeah.
Let me
go
read it. We always do this.
We all watched it around table. We watched Dawn.
I've seen it. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I've seen it 100 times. I've watched it.
I have too. It's phenomenal.
Dawn of the Dead, 2004. The dead have become zombies, stalking in an endless quest to feed on those who remain alive. A group of desperate survivors in a Wisconsin town seek refuge in a large indoor mall, where they must learn not only to protect themselves from the zombie horde, but also to coexist with each other. This Zack Snyder-directed version is a remake of the 1978 film of the same name. Tomato meter, 74%. Audience, 77%. IMDb audience gives it 7.3 stars with a Metascore of 59.
Audience is only at 74?
77 for the audience.
It still seems low.
I think it's my third favorite horror movie ever. Yeah. You
want to start?
I love it. I mean, I love everything about it. I think the acting is unbelievable in that. And all those actors in 2004, some of them you don't even recognize. They're all over the place now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Ty Burrell is from Modern Family.
Yeah.
He's
a jackass.
He's great.
The guy who's the head security guard. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Who's now on House of Cards as one of the really villains. Can't remember his name. He's fantastic in it. And the characterizations are great. Like that guy, can we do spoilers? It's 2004, right?
Oh, yeah.
That guy, he's an asshole in the beginning. He turns out to be a good guy. I mean, so you don't know
Rames?
The character. Okay. No, I'm talking about the security guard.
Yeah.
So
that was Michael Kelly.
Yeah. Michael Kelly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going back and watching that.
Yep.
I did not even catch that.
And Ving Rhames is great in it. Yeah, because he's got a full head of hair in the Dawn of the...
That would be why.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be why.
So I don't want to take too much of it, but that movie is so good. And what's his name? Oh my gosh. Mekhi Phifer?
Mekhi Phifer, yeah.
He's great in it.
Yeah, he's great.
And that little twist is fun.
Yeah.
Where he's keeping his girlfriend.
His pregnant girlfriend.
That whole sequence in that movie is probably one of my top favorites. When they go and they find that and they finally see what's going on and she's tied up on the bed.
Yeah. And you can tell he's known all along.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to turn into a zombie.
Oh, yeah.
He just
we didn't
wants
talk
to,
about it. We're not giving spoilers.
That's true. So he just wants to do something good right by that baby. He says that.
Yeah.
To Ving Rhames. But when that lady dies because of it, she sees it. I just watched, that was the last thing I watched before I came over here. And you just see this little cool chamber of the gun go. And it's this Mexican shoot off. As soon as she does that, she's done.
Yeah.
And they're shooting each other.
They're shooting each other. I mean,
the babies.
Each one just hits the shot. Yeah.
But that was sad that she died. So anyway, won't talk much more about that.
To me, it was a very influential movie. I don't know that it is in my top 10 or whatever, but I loved it. It's entertaining every time I see it. The only thing for me, and you had mentioned the baby part of it, is when they open the thing and the baby. That I don't know. That's to me that was a little cheesy.
Yeah.
But overall, I really dig that movie. And to tell you the truth, I dig the last 10 minutes of it the most.
Where they're riding in the vans, or not the vans,
not just in the buses when they. It's like when they're already on the boat and going into the end credits because they overlap that with the handheld home footage.
Yeah, and the credits take about 10 minutes
And the credits,
because they keep the story is still going on.
The story continues throughout that whole thing, and seeing what happens to those people.
It's a great ending because it's like I don't even want to see a sequel. I just like that it ended there because you don't know what is going to happen to them.
Yeah.
And also, I am hijacking this, but
keep going, Tom.
Jack Weber, who's the guy who's kind of the hero, and you find out he works at Best Buy. Jesus, who would work at Best Buy for a living?
Yeah.
But he sells. No, but I had to get that in. But he talks about his best thing is he's being a dad, and you could tell there's sadness in him, and how he dies at the end is kind of It's.
I'm just gonna sit here and watch the sunset.
Yeah. And he has no problem killing the one dude. So they're just multi-dimensional characters. So yeah.
And I also see in this movie how it probably influenced Kirkman with Walking Dead. Because it's about survival, and at some point they just say, "Oh, you're bitten." Click.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't risk it.
No.
It's and even the guy he has his daughter and he realizes he's going to die. Even he's like, I get it.
Oh, that was the guy who played Max Headroom.
Oh, it was.
I can't think of his name.
What are your overall thoughts there, Josh?
Give me 1 second. 1 second here. Yeah,
He was also in the Stephen King series.
The Stand.
The Stand.
He played the whatever man.
Garbage Man.
The Garbage Man.
Yeah. He's got an interesting look.
If you look up Max Headroom, that'll pull it up.
As the main character.
Mm-hmm.
I liked a lot of the music also in the remake of Dawn of the Dead. How they put in Down with the Sickness in the credits.
There was music.
No. Hold on. Whoa.
There was music and Muzak in that movie.
Yeah, they played the Richard Cheese version of Down with the Sickness.
I was getting there.
I'm sorry.
So during that sequence where like they're all doing like the what do you call it now? Where they're doing like they're all
the montage.
Yeah, the montage. That's where they play that. I thought that was great.
Oh, where they're all kind of like looking at the stars and they're laughing and they're getting along.
And anybody catch "Don't Worry, Be Happy" during the elevator music that they played? They're running from the zombies and they get in the elevator. And then I love this song. And they're just playing that. Oh yeah, I love like that, like little things like that.
Well, they took that from the original one too, because they all got in the elevator and there was. I love you. I honestly love you. Was playing.
Okay. I didn't get that far when I was watching. I think I only got an hour into the original, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, so there's a few things that they stole from the original.
And I love the little sequence of the Burt Reynolds and the
hysterical. They're sniping from the rooftops.
They're bored to death. The guy's he's by himself. He's got to do something to
get Rosie O'Donnell.
That's too easy.
I love little moments like that. Again, I already talked about this a little bit, but that opening sequence where they do the hospital bit, and then you meet the little girl, and they have their date night, and they wake up, and that sequence where she's running down the hall after she bites him, stuff like that, and then just like I went and saw this in the theater with my dad, and that first sequence before they even got to the credits, I was just like, this is gonna be straight fire. If this whole movie is this like chaotic, sign me the fuck up. I cannot wait.
What I liked in that first sequence too that you don't always see is as a mother, she figured out quickly that her daughter was this. I mean, she didn't even think twice, and she just throws her out of the room. And she's like immediately in survival mode.
Yeah.
Which you would be. And
think.
Yeah, so I love how it goes from this mundane hospital thing. Yeah, I worked a long shift. And you're like, geez, come on. Like a minute into it, you're just like, whoa, what?
And
yeah, it's awesome.
A laugh moment for me also is when he's chasing her. She's driving away and she's chasing her. It's like watching a little child with ADD because he's running after her and he just stops and veers off
Yes.
the person in the neighborhood. And the grass was like, that dude's got some attention deficit problems. Yeah, I know all about it.
Yeah, he's chasing her. He's like, oh, there's a live person.
He's like, ooh, ball, go get it. So
And I
he veers
love
off.
how honest people are. Like when they're in that panic mode, and there was like people wanting help and they're knocking on the door. It's like, no,
It's
I'm not
I'm
helping
not
you.
looking. I'm just going.
Yeah.
Which he probably,
Yeah.
unfortunately, would do.
Yeah. So that opening sequence I love.
God, that was a great sequence.
It's just that's the way to come out and start a movie.
What has
I
that
think.
director done
So,
since?
Zack Snyder, he
Snyder?
did Superman.
Why
He did Batman vs Superman.
Okay.
He did.
I don't like
He did the Justice League movie.
But he hasn't done any other horror, though?
I think he had. Hang on, I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure he has, unless you got it, Patrick.
I'll probably beat you to it.
Zack Snyder, but he's he jumped into the comic book
Got it.
movie world and started making. But he just, I think his daughter, was his daughter?
No, I don't.
think
Never mind.
just committed suicide.
Oh, that's too bad.
And Joss Whedon took over the Justice League movies.
Is that why he backed away?
I think that's what it was.
Oh,
His
sad
daughter,
day.
yeah. But I think he's coming back he'll come back and do the other things. I'm sure that he's signed on for.
Yeah.
He just had to take a little bit of a
Reprieve.
break.
I mean, he did 300, Watchmen, Sucker Punch,
Yeah.
Man of Steel,
Yeah,
Batman versus
So
Superman.
he's just
yeah,
completely comic because he knows how to do a horror movie.
yeah.
yeah. But almost everything he's done since then is all comic book related.
300 was great though.
Oh, I love
300 was
300.
so good.
I still haven't
Watchmen
seen that.
was rough for me. I couldn't get through that.
Oh, I loved watching.
Yeah, I liked it.
But yeah, Dawn of the Dead. I agree with Tom as far as it's in my top
It's
5
definitely.
easily. I wish I would have been able to go to a convention and talk to Romero about his thoughts on zombie movies in the world today. And
Do we know what he thought of that remake?
I don't. I know
Didn't
he hated
he
the
didn't.
fact.
They were running. He didn't like.
He
it.
He
hates
didn't
that
like
they
that they were
ran.
running, and he also didn't like but it's weird because he said
That's
he didn't
so
like that they were
scarier.
running, but he said he loved the opening sequence, which to me is completely contradictory.
Yeah.
But he also said that he was disappointed that they did not take a political aspect on the film itself.
Really? Okay.
So, I mean, his thoughts were that there's no way that they could run. There's no way. But they also talk about it in the special features on the 2004 Dawn, how there was 3 stages. Not all those zombies ran. So the first stage, when you're fresh and you're new, he said that's when they were running. As the stages went on and you started to fall apart.
Oh, that's why they're still when they're in the mall. They're still kind of walking like.
Yeah, they're not all run.
okay.
So they went through and did the different stages of zombies. So in that remake, so they thought it out at least. So
Or maybe they just said that to cover some mistakes.
maybe that as well. So
Now, compare it to the original.
again, I was not around in 1978.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, but you've seen
So,
the original, though.
I have. No, I have though. Yeah. And it's just not in today, in 2004 even, but especially today, in my brain, the way my brain works is everything's just gotta like go crazy and be fast and like catch me. And it's not just with that movie, it's with a lot of movies. Like if it doesn't catch me in the first 5-10 minutes, I get bored because I can't sit there for very long because I just can't, and I move on. I was lucky to get an hour into Dawn last night as far as I got because it's just like it's just a different pace. That's it. That's the only difference to me. It's just the makeup and everything is not great, but it's not. I can get past the makeup and the effects of that movie. The story is great, and just the pacing is just rough for me. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
for
the only difference.
Me, for the original, I felt it was almost a step back from Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, well, Night of the Living Dead, it was not in color.
Exactly. So they were able to get away with a lot more, that things didn't necessarily have to look as real. They could have been, when they're pulling out the guts and the blood and everything else, it could have been anything, and they could have gotten away with it. But when the blood that's coming out is like pink.
The zombies were blue.
And the zombies were gray and blue.
Yeah.
There was no zombie. All it was pancake makeup. It wasn't like anything special effects or anything like that with it. So that way I kind of felt it was a step backwards, because they hardly even did anything with like limbs missing or anything like that, which they did in Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
There were people with torn body parts and missing limbs, and there was nudity in that, and so I just think he kind of took a step back.
But you also got to watch him progress from Dawn and Day to when he started doing, like, when he did Land of the Dead. Again, that all of a sudden went with what he had available to him. Those makeup and those effects were night and day to, look at 1978 versus 2000 and whatever he made Land, is just, he evolved because everything else was able to evolve. Mm-hmm. That's it. If he had those resources available in 1978, those zombies wouldn't have looked like that.
You kind of have to wonder why he didn't have resources available with the success of Night of the Living Dead. Or maybe it wasn't, maybe it became a cult classic as opposed to
It was a
commercial.
definitely cult classic. Yeah. It was definitely cult, for sure.
But you would think that he'd still be able to seal some funding to do.
Yeah. I don't know if people wanted to not give.
Or maybe
look at Halloween.
Or maybe they wanted to fund it, but they said, we'll give you money, but it has to go in this direction. And he flipped them the finger, and said, fuck you, I still want to do what I want to do. You never know.
Also. But if you look at Halloween in 77 or 79, John, John didn't give John Carpenter any money.
Right.
And, he had something huge on his hands. Mm-hmm. So it just might have been, I think horror has evolved because and money will get, well, even now people have a hard time funding horror films just because they just know, unless you're a fan of the genre, nobody's willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if you are proven, no one's willing to give you that money because it's just not everybody chases that genre. So, but horror fans are the most loyal fans ever. So, yeah. Do you want me to wrap?
Yeah, I think we got to wrap it up.
Dawn of the Dead wrap?
We're just over an hour.
We're at about an hour, just a little bit over an hour right now. So I think we're going to wrap this up.
Do we want to give it stars?
2004's Dawn out of 10.
Do you want to do out of 10?
Sure.
Go. Start. I go 8. I give 8.
I got to go 6.
I got to go 9. I think it's great.
8.5.
All right.
You low baller.
I'm a low baller.
All right, should we do plugs real quick?
Let's do plugs.
Go, Greg.
If you're looking for some great movie reviews, step on over to gregthemovieguy.blogspot.com. Fresh new reviews on there for Spider-Man Homecoming, also one for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Who knows what I'll do next? I haven't seen any good movies recently, so we'll have to remedy that.
The Void.
I'm apparently going to do The Void.
Do it.
I don't know why, but what the hell. Again, that is gregthemovieguy.blogspot.com.
I got nothing.
Yeah, but do you have any plugs?
I got hair plug.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Prairie Lights Film Festival, October. I'm dropping the ball on the dates right now. I've had it memorized. 22nd, 23rd. No, it's 24th. Not the 24th.
Hang on.
20th, 21st, and 22nd. 20th through the 22nd. I'm pretty sure.
October
20th through the 22nd.
There we go. Yeah, we got a couple movies showing there, so pay attention to the website, which is, Josh?
MidnightFrightFilms.com. I don't know if we've blogged on there recently. I know Patrick's been busy with Ghost Hunters. Greg's doing Mermaid. Tom's doing theater. So the old blogs have not been coming, which we should probably get on that. I've not been doing shit, so I should probably get on that. MidnightFrightFilms.com. We got a YouTube page, Midnight Fright Films. There's some new stuff on there. We'll get some other new stuff on there. Find us at Midnight Fright Films on the Facebook and Midnight FrightCast on the Facebook and the gram of Insta as well, which we have nothing new on there either.
No,
but check it out anyway because it's fun and who doesn't?
Yeah, if you haven't been there, check it out.
Yeah. So that's plugs.
All right, Greg, you brought us in. Take us out.
In a world where we end the movie by... Oh, shit. In a world where words obeyed me. So this has been the episode 14 of the Midnight Fright cast. Thanks everybody for showing up and giving us some great content. This has been one of our better ones, I think. We had a lot of great dialogue.
Yeah.
And shout out to George Romero for all that he's done for the horror genre, because we wouldn't be where we're at right now if it wasn't for his contributions. So until next time, stay fright.
Go watch a Romero movie.
Go watch a Romero movie and watch The Void and let us know what you think.
Yeah.